King Solomon, a legendary figure. King Solomon is a name that grabs attention. The Bible describes him as a wise king who ruled a vast territory and could solve any problem. He is said to have built a magnificent temple in Jerusalem and is regarded as the richest man who ever lived. Even today, Solomon's legacy remains legendary. Recently, a team of archaeologists from Israel made a groundbreaking discovery: King Solomon's tomb, hidden for over 3,000 years. This raises questions about what treasures and secrets it might hold. Let's explore this historical mystery and uncover the hidden secrets of King Solomon's tomb. The discovery of King Solomon's tomb. For years, people searched for King Solomon's tomb, with some believing it was just a myth because no one had found it. That changed when a group of scientists and treasure hunters, led by Dr. Eilat Mazar, made an astonishing discovery. They pinpointed a location in the city of David that might be Solomon's final resting place. This wasn't Dr. Mazar's first major find. Back in 1986, she discovered an ancient gatehouse near the city of David but wasn't certain of its connection to Solomon. Fast forward to 2009, when Dr. Mazar resumed excavations around the gatehouse. She uncovered numerous artifacts dating back to Solomon's time. Radiocarbon dating revealed the gatehouse was likely built in the 10th century BCE, aligning with Solomon's reign. Trust Dr. Mazar's findings. Dr. Eilat Mazar was a distinguished archaeologist who believed in letting artifacts speak. Her reputation as a meticulous researcher earned her praise from experts, including Herschel Shanks of Biblical Archaeology Review. She embraced a unique approach, blending science with biblical accounts, arguing that both could offer valuable insights. Among her discoveries were over 30 bulla, clay seals used for documents, one of which excited her greatly. This enthusiasm highlighted her dedication to uncovering the truth about ancient history. The search for King David's palace. Dr. Mazar's team originally set out to locate King David's palace. During excavations, they uncovered massive walls over 2,100 feet long, known as the Cave of the Kings. The site included a gatehouse, corner tower, and royal structures, hinting at connections to King Solomon. Radiocarbon dating, combined with ceramics and other finds, pointed to the 10th century BCE, Solomon's era. Artifacts discovered included Hebrew-inscribed vessels, figurines symbolizing fertility, and jar handles referencing kings and officials, providing further evidence of the site's historical importance. The legacy of King Solomon's Temple. Finding King Solomon's Temple has been a long-standing dream for archaeologists. Recent discoveries in Jerusalem's Ophel area added pieces to the puzzle, supporting stories of Solomon as a powerful king ruling a vast kingdom. The city of David, Jerusalem's oldest part, offers a window into the past, with landmarks like the Solomon Tunnel showcasing ancient ingenuity. Despite challenges like wars and urban development, archaeologists remain hopeful about uncovering royal tombs. Such discoveries could provide invaluable insights into the lives and governance of Israel's ancient kings. Zedekiah's Cave, an underground mystery. Beneath Jerusalem's busy streets lies Zedekiah's Cave, also known as Solomon's Quarries. This vast underground limestone cavern is steeped in mystery and legend. Spanning 5 city blocks, the cave has fascinated archaeologists, adventurers, and travelers for centuries. Its secrets, like those of Solomon's tomb, continue to intrigue and inspire. Quest continues. The search for King Solomon's tomb, palace, and temple sheds light on ancient history, offering glimpses into the lives of legendary figures. While many questions remain unanswered, each discovery brings us closer to understanding the world of Solomon and his unparalleled legacy. Hideout for King Zedekiah, a ruler from Judea in the 6th century before Jesus was born, has long captured imaginations. When the Babylonian army was trying to take over Jerusalem, the story goes that King Zedekiah ran away to hide in a cave. A famous storyteller named Rashi tells an exciting tale about Zedekiah's escape. He says the king hid in the cave and ran through its twisty tunnels towards the plains of Jericho. As Zedekiah was sneaking through the dark, something amazing happened. They say God sent a deer to run above ground, leading the soldiers chasing the king right to the cave's exit just as Zedekiah came out. That's how they caught him and made him blind. This spooky story makes the cave even more interesting, but it's the connection to the Freemasons that really gets people talking. The Freemasons think Zedekiah's cave is a special place and that it was where the Knights Templar used to meet. They believe the cave has secret symbols and codes that hold the group's hidden knowledge, but there's no real proof for this idea. Debunking myths. Before folks started digging around, there was a lot of guesswork about where to find Solomon's final resting place. Archaeologists, scientists, and history buffs alike had their own ideas. Many pointed to Mount Zion, a hill in Jerusalem closely tied to the city of David, thinking this might be the royal graveyard for the Davidic dynasty, including the great King Solomon himself. But here's the thing, they were barking up the wrong tree. It's a common misconception that King David is buried on Mount Zion. Nope, that's not right. His actual tomb is in the southeastern corner of Jerusalem's Old City, just below the Temple Mount, in an area known today as the City of David. The Bible, in the book of 1 Kings 2 verse 1, tells us that David died and was put to rest in the City of David. It also gives us a timeline. David ruled Israel for 40 years, 7 of those in Hebron and the other 33 in Jerusalem. After David passed, his son Solomon took over. Now let's clear up something about Zion. When people talk about Zion, they're usually referring to ancient Jerusalem, but there's a mix-up that happened in the Middle Ages. Pilgrims from the Byzantine Empire got a bit lost and thought the hill south of the Armenian Quarter in today's Old City was part of the Old City, so they called it Mount Zion. Truth is, the city David conquered was on a lower hill south of the Temple Mount. This was originally a Jebusite city, but David made it his capital. For over 200 years, this was the whole of Jerusalem. Later on, the city grew and spread westward, eventually including the area we now call Mount Zion. Early archaeological discoveries. In the 2nd century, Jerusalem faced significant destruction. Jews were sent away from their homes, and people started to forget where David's tomb was. Luckily, the Bible gives us a hint. It says that David, Solomon, and a bunch of other Judah kings over the next 150 years were buried in David, which is probably part of today's City of David. Back in 1931, a French archaeologist named Raymond Wall began digging in Jerusalem's City of David, hoping to find old tombs, perhaps even the final resting place of the early kings from the Old Testament. Some skeptics dismissed his ideas, but another archaeologist, Jeff Zorn, thinks Wall might have been onto something. For ages, folks believed King David's tomb was on Mount Zion because a historian named Josephus said so in the 1st century. However, biblical accounts suggest David and other kings from that era were buried closer to the southern end of the City of David. Jeff Zorn proposed an intriguing theory: there might be 2 ancient tunnels in the City of David where the early kings were buried. In the 1800s, a diplomat named Charles Claremont Gano noted the curvy path of Hezekiah's tunnel and speculated that it was designed to avoid disturbing the old kings' graves. Wiles' excavations uncovered old walls, pools for rituals, water tanks, and a round tower that might have been used for keeping pigeons. The most significant find, however, was 9 spots carved into the rock resembling tombs. He believed the fanciest ones, T1, T2, and T3, might be the burial sites of the Old Testament kings. The Tomb of the Kings. Some speculate that Solomon's tomb was hidden on purpose to keep it safe from looters, a common practice with royal graves. Others think Solomon might be buried somewhere outside the Old City of David due to political or religious turmoil at the time. Today, the so-called Tomb of the Kings in Jerusalem is open to visitors, but it's not actually the resting place of King David or King Solomon, though the name has persisted. Built around the year 100 CE, it was explored in 1863 by a French archaeologist named Louis Félicien de Saulcy, who hoped to find evidence of David and Solomon's burial sites. He discovered some ancient coffins, one of which, bearing inscriptions, is now in a famous museum in Paris. Modern archaeological discoveries. Imagine a dark old room filled with shadows, where King Solomon's body lay hidden for thousands of years. Dr. Jonathan Hayes, a modern archaeologist, examines the site, uncovering a crown adorned with sapphires and a beautifully inscribed staff. Walls lined with scrolls reveal Solomon's wisdom, governance, and alliances, reshaping our understanding of his reign. These discoveries, from gold decorations to ancient coins, offer invaluable insights into a once powerful kingdom shrouded in mystery. Even though the search for Solomon's tomb continues, recent discoveries, including seals and coins bearing his name, provide intriguing clues about his era. Clay seals, or bulli, used to secure documents, have unearthed the names of figures from Solomon's time, adding yet another layer of fascination to this enduring quest.